Hello everyone and welcome back to Man vs. Artificial Intelligence, part number 2. Now if you recall from the first video, I am going through a number of different questions when it comes to man versus artificial intelligence. And the question that I took on first was whether or not the AI currently poses a challenge to an experienced player. So I am seeking to answer that question by playing against the AI at the Battle of Antietam. So I'm going to return to my battle. I'm already 7 turns into it, and this is the way that the battlefield looks after turn number 7. You can see up on my left flank I have most of Jackson's corps reinforced by Hood's division from Longstreet's corps. Over on my right flank I have Jones's division along with Walker's division, which is still fixed in place. I also have McLaw's and Anderson's divisions, which are fixed in place west of Sharpsburg. Now, after just 2 hours, I already have a major victory status. But there is a large part of the Federal AI Army which is still fixed in place, and which may factor into the battle increasingly as we progress. So let's go ahead and resume this battle and see whether or not the AI can turn the tables on me and begin to make this a real challenge. Alright, this is the way the battlefield looks after turn number 8. And McLaw's division was released during this turn, but overall there was very little action across the battlefield as the Federals are still releasing and moving towards my lines. But the AI did charge me up around the West Woods, but again, the AI charged me in column formation. And this really does drive me nuts, and there's really just no excuse for it. Turn number 9 now. And the AI brought up 12 guns within 4 hexes of my front lines. Unguarded. That is never a smart thing to do. Even for a computer, that's not very smart. You know, that would never happen when you're playing against a human opponent. Leaving guns unguarded right in front of the enemy lines, that is just such a horrible mistake that it should never ever happen, even against the AI. And because they did this, I had no choice but to counterattack with part of Early's brigade and destroy those 12 guns. It was actually really easy to do, and it was a no-brainer move. Alright, moving now to turn number 10. And the AI attacked Jackson's division, but they were repulsed. Again, they're just doing these attacks piecemeal, and it's really simple for me just to fight them off. I was able to wound Colonel Hoffman leading one of the Federal brigades, so he is another Federal commander out of this battle. Meanwhile, McLaw's is moving to reinforce Jackson and Ewell up around the West Woods area, just to add some greater depth to their defenses. But his artillery is heading to the opposite flank to oppose the 9th Corps once they eventually become released in this battle. Turn number 11 now. And the Union is continuing to bring guns up near my lines. And admittedly, this is putting pressure on me to either counterattack against these guns, retreat to an area further away from them, or just sit under the enemy guns and accept whatever losses they inflict as long as those guns are well guarded. Luckily, my own artillery is targeting their guns since they aren't attacking with infantry, which would require my guns to concentrate on them, and we've already knocked out a few of the Union guns during this turn. Their guns are at a lower elevation than my own, and we're going to have the advantage in any artillery duel which ensues. Meanwhile, the 2nd Corps is starting to stir for the AI, and they will sooner or later be able to bring more pressure against my front. Now over on my side, Anderson's division was released during this turn, and that division is starting to divide up their forces with 4 brigades moving to the center and 2 to the right flank. Again, I hate to divide divisions, but at the Battle of Antietam, you don't really have a choice. Now, down to the south, Walker's division is also released, and they're heading north to become a general reserve force for my army in this battle. Moving to turn number 12. And the AI continues to make a lot of odd moves, which are just getting them killed faster and faster. During this turn, they advanced up against my lines with 80 men. I don't really understand the point of the AI attacking with such small forces against lines which are quickly going to wipe them out. It's just not a good move. And another thing which is getting them killed faster is that they're advancing against my lines or within a hex or two while still in column formation. I mean, when they do this, it increases their losses by 40%, and it makes it very easy for me to disrupt and or rout them away. So they're just wasting manpower by remaining in column formation. Another thing which the AI is doing is putting their division commanders in the front lines along with their units. This is never a smart thing to do on any level, but the AI does this just time after time, and it's putting their leaders in great jeopardy. Now I continue to shuffle my men around the battlefield while holding on to all of my original lines. So far it's been very simple, and I'm not seeing anything which makes me believe the AI is ever going to be able to push me back. We're going to move to turn number 13 now. And the federal attacks which did come against my line were repulsed, and they are just now moving randomly out in front of my lines without any real reason or rationality behind their moves. And it's not much of a challenge when the enemy just keeps moving up within 2 hexes of my line while in column. Alright, gonna keep going though. We're gonna go to turn number 14. And there's been continued fighting around the West Woods, but no intelligent AI attack has yet been launched. They just keep coming at me piecemeal. Overall, I still have Jackson over on my left flank and Longstreet on my right. With Walker's division and Anderson's division, along with McLaws's division, my lines are set, and I can probably handle anything that the AI throws at me. Moving to turn number 15. And my artillery continues to concentrate their fire on the enemy guns which are positioned just too close to my lines, and their guns are just taking heavy losses turn after turn thanks to my artillery fire. Again, this is just a poor move by the AI to set up their guns in such a bad place. A human opponent would utilize higher ground or the woods or really any number of different modifiers to protect their guns, but the AI is just not doing that. And what is the AI up to? I really don't know. I can see much of their army at this point because it is daytime in the game, but they are either not moving because they are fixed, or they aren't moving because they haven't been programmed to move. I'm not really sure with some of the units, and some just seem to be marching in circles. Alright, moving to turn number 16. And just when you think you've seen everything, and I thought I had seen everything in these games throughout the years, I run into something completely unexpected. So this hex here contains this unit, the 9th New York from Fairchild's Brigade. Now how on earth did this unit arrive at this location? Because the 9th Corps, of which Fairchild's Brigade is a part, is actually located on the extreme opposite end of the battlefield, which means that they moved all the way to the north, crossed over Antietam Creek, moved across the fields, and attacked my lines. I can't even begin to explain why the AI would do this. I'm actually at a loss. The AI right now is making me feel like I'm playing an old Nintendo. There doesn't seem to be any rationality behind what they're doing, and it's actually getting very simple. Moving to turn number 17 now. And nothing new here, I'm just firing away. And I'm actually running out of targets to shoot at because the Federals are not attacking. Turn number 18. And there's lots of targets this turn. So hey, that's a good thing, at least it gives me something to do. Down in the south at Burnside's Bridge, the Federals did attack, but again, they're doing so in column, and they're also doing it against a very strong part of my line. Now, generally speaking, The AI cannot cross a bridge to save their lives. They just can't. It's something that needs to be addressed with these WDS games, and like I said, I'll get into that in a future episode. But let me just establish right now, the AI cannot cross creeks. I don't know why it is, but they have an incredibly hard time doing this simple thing. And in a situation like we have here at the Burnsides Bridge, where it is a contested crossing, the AI is just going to get butchered, because they're going to go into column formation like zombies and try to cross a bridge which is blocked, and they're going to take heavy losses. And that is exactly what is happening here. Meanwhile, up in the north, I had exhausted elements of the 12th Corps attacking my lines again without any proper support, and they are paying a very heavy price. Again, piecemeal attacks by the AI, just over and over again. Moving forward in the game to turn number 19, and the AI had set up guns, again within 4 hexes of my lines, but they were unsupported. Therefore, I launched a counterattack across the cornfield in order to quickly destroy the guns. If the AI is going to leave guns unsupported, I'm going to attack and capture them each and every chance I have. It is a very simple move for me to make. Turn number 20. And 2 federal generals were just left unguarded in front of my lines, and I quickly captured them. Generals Greene and Goodrich are now on their way to Richmond as prisoners of war. I don't understand why the AI would just literally leave unprotected commanders right in front of my lines, but I guess it is what it is. So there's really not much going on now, and when the enemy does show himself near my lines, I just blast away and wipe them out. It's really not much of a challenge. Moving forward to turn number 21. And I am counterattacking against the remnants of Doubleday's division, as they are just annoying me. That's kind of where I've gotten to with this battle, is I'm just launching offensive actions for no other reason than to kill time. So I'm attacking Doubleday's division, really just to get them out of the way. Meanwhile, it looks like the 2nd Corps is finally moving forward, but they're doing so piecemeal, which shouldn't surprise anyone at this point. But it does mean fresh federal troops up against my lines, so maybe things will get interesting again. Now over in the center, the Federals did advance, but they did so with only 1 regiment, and General Dana was quickly captured because all of his men around him were wiped out. Again, the AI just making one mistake after another. Going forward now to turn number 22. And I actually quickly encircled Doubleday's division, and I'm just bagging them up now just to be done with them. They annoyed me a little bit too long, and they were sitting too close to my lines, so I just quickly went out, circled them, and now I'm going to bag them. The ease of which I am doing these things is just ridiculous. During this turn, I was able to capture both Doubleday and Phelps, so that's 2 more Federal commanders off the board. Over near the East Woods, the Irish Brigade is out in front of the 2nd Corps, and they're already taking heavy losses in the open fields, approaching my lines. Again, just more piecemeal attacks by the AI. Moving to turn 23, and I actually bagged all of the remaining men from Doubleday's division during this turn, and I captured Patrick as well. So that means I've wiped out all of Doubleday's division in just a turn or 2. I am also starting to send some of my cavalry around the enemy flank just to clear up some of their supply wagons and guns that they left sitting out once Doubleday's division was no longer there. The AI is now totally dysfunctional and can hardly even form an attack of any kind. When they do attack, it's just with a regiment or an unsupported brigade. It's really becoming ridiculous. But I'm going to continue for a little while longer. Moving to turn number 24 in the game, and I captured 6 more enemy guns during this turn. And it's just getting easier and easier to do all of these different things. Going forward to turn number 25, And the Federals are attacking again, but still not very strongly. They just aren't attacking with enough force to cause me any concern. Here is an example. They do have a 700-man regiment, but they're all by themselves. Their flank and their rear are exposed to my gunfire, and inevitably these guys will lose hundreds of men and be routed back from my lines. During this turn, my forces have just torn up all of the attackers, including the continued column attacks down by Burnside's bridge. It's hardly even fair at this point to call it a battle. But let's just do a few more turns. Turn number 26, and just same old, just beating them senseless. I'm not even bothering to bring AP Hill's division onto the map at this point because I simply don't need them. Up in the north, I was able to capture General Seymour, the rest of his brigade being wiped out. He was left in front of our lines. Maybe the AI did that on purpose just to sacrifice him. Who knows? But we did capture him, and he will be reunited with all of his men heading down to Richmond. Going forward to turn number 27. And there's really nothing new during this turn either. The battlefield is becoming more and more quiet. I was able to capture General Sturgis down by Burnside's bridge. Again, the AI is just leaving general after general unprotected out in front of their lines. It really doesn't make any sense. Alright, you know what? It's time to end this battle. It's no longer fun, and the game has just ceased to be amusing. The AI is just being destroyed, and there's no point to continue. But let's go ahead and take a look at the overhead map here at the end. You can see my lines really have not changed at all during the last few hours, or really during this entire battle. I still have Jackson over on my left, Longstreet over on my right. There's really no way that the AI could ever break my line at this point in the battle. And just what is the AI up to? I'm not really sure. It seems like they have whatever's left of Hooker's Corps, along with Mansfield and Sumner, up near the East Woods area. Meanwhile, Porter's Corps and the cavalry are still fixed in place, so they get a free pass as far as not attacking. But Burnside's men, I'm not even sure what they're up to. And Franklin's men, they should be a heck of a lot closer to my lines after marching for a number of hours. But they're still just marching in circles and hardly moving at all. So what did the casualties end up being in this battle? Well, after 27 turns, the Federals lost 14,067 infantrymen, 55 guns, and 15 leaders. I only lost 1,943 men, 31 cavalrymen, and 9 guns. I didn't even lose any leaders in this battle. Looking at the order of battle for my army, you can see I lost 6.78% of my force. Longstreet's corps only lost 319 men, and Jackson's corps about 1,850. Taking a look now at the Federal order of battle, they've lost just under 19% of their entire force. Hooker's corps has lost 75%. Mansfield's corps lost over 50%. The rest of the Federal Army, while still relatively fresh, they aren't moving offensively. So there's no point in continuing this battle from my perspective. So getting back to my question of whether or not the AI currently poses a challenge to an experienced player, I think I've definitively answered that they do not offer a challenge to an experienced player. It was incredibly easy for me in this battle to fight off everything the AI was doing. I could have fought this battle with 2 or 3 fewer divisions, and the outcome would have been the same. The AI just doesn't know what it's doing, and they aren't very challenging to an experienced player. But I did mention before that this is not the AI challenge scenario that I fought here. This is just the regular scenario. And there is a reason that I fought this one, and we're going to get into that in a future episode. And I'm going to have a lot more to say about the AI experience. So keep watching these videos to learn more about the AI and how it works and what I hope will happen to it in the future. Alright everyone, thank you for watching this episode. If you'd like more information about the American Civil War Gaming Club, you can go to acwgc.net to check us out there. Until next time, everyone, just remember, keep gaming.